pearOS 26.2 is here, a major refresh that brings a liquid gel UI, Wayland by default, a new installer and control center, plus a few fresh apps that push this Arch-based distro closer to a polished, consumer-ready desktop. Today, we're breaking down everything new in pearOS 26.2. What's changed visually, what's new under the hood, how hardware support looks, and whether it's worth trying if you want a sleek KDE experience with modern tech like Wayland. At-a-glance facts. Base, Arch Linux, Arch-based. Desktop, KDE Plasma, latest bug fix. Kernel, Linux 6.17, ships with Wayland by default and a live ISO that targets UEFI BIOS and NVIDIA support. Visual design and polish. pearOS 26.2 doubles down on its liquid gel design language. Expect smoother animations, more consistent visual feedback, a redesigned dock and launchpad, and small flourishes like an arc effect in the Downloads folder. The goal is a cohesive, modern look that feels fluid across the whole desktop.
Wayland, performance and security. This release switches the desktop session to Wayland by default, a move that improves security and can reduce graphical glitches compared with X11 on modern stacks. For users with newer GPUs, this usually means smoother animations and better fractional scaling behavior, though legacy edge cases will still exist. Installer, control center, and UX improvements. pearOS 26.2 introduces a new installer intended to simplify the install flow, plus a rebuilt control center to centralize settings like trackpad gestures, tapping, and the new privacy toggles. These changes aim to make setup and daily configuration friendlier for users who prefer a curated desktop experience.
New apps, Pafari and Piri. Two headline apps in this release are Pafari, a browser styled to resemble the Safari experience, and Piri, an AI-style voice assistant. Important note, Piri is designed to behave like a voice helper, but does not run a cloud AI model. It's a local, scripted assistant for quick commands and shortcuts rather than a full generative AI. Privacy and practical features. pearOS adds practical features such as a display as ring light mode for low-light calls, and privacy bubbles that notify you when the microphone, webcam, or screen recording is active. Small details that improve daily usability and privacy awareness. Under the hood, kernel, plasma, drivers. Under the hood, pearOS 26.2 ships with Linux kernel 6.17 and the KDE Plasma 6.5.x series, bringing newer hardware support and recent Plasma bug fixes. The live ISO explicitly calls out support for UEFI and legacy BIOS, plus automatic NVIDIA support during install, a plus for desktop users with proprietary GPUs.
Who should try it? If you like a macOS-ish aesthetic, but want the control of an Arch-based system and the polish of KDE, pearOS 26.2 is worth a test drive. It's a good fit for users who care about visuals, modern display stacks, Wayland, and out-of-the-box hardware support. But if you need maximum stability for production work, remember that rolling/Arch-based systems can require more maintenance than LTS-style releases. I'll link official downloads and community notes in the description so you can try the live ISO safely in a VM or on spare hardware. If you want, I can do a full install walkthrough and performance comparison next. Tell me in the comments which GPU you're using and I'll test it.